trees are down, power lines are down.
Message of 290 characters follows.
Hey guys, welcome into another episode of Grid Down Comes Up. I want to talk to you today about a little power device that I'm seeing a lot of on the internet. If you guys, most of you I'm sure are familiar with Anderson power poles. We use them all over the place in ham radio. They require tools to install. You have to crimp the little pins into place in order to install them. If I can get this to focus on the little pins there. You guys, I'm sure, are familiar with those. So we're going to talk about these little guys that use these little lever attachments, so you can just insert a piece of wire into them, flip this down, and make the connection. They are great for a field expedient repair, field expedient addition of a piece of equipment. The problem is, if you go to DX Engineering, these things are about $14 a piece. And if you go to Amazon, they are $20 a piece. So they're, maybe they're worth it if it's the way you want to go. But I'm going to show you guys how to make these today for about $5 each if you get your stuff in bulk. What you need are some of these little Wago lever lock connectors. You can get them for about $1 a piece at Home Depot if you buy 10 of them. If you want to make a bunch of these for your radio club or your preparedness group or whatever, you can get them for about 50 cents a piece if you buy them in a bigger box. We'll also need some Anderson power pole connectors. So we'll need a few power pole connectors. We will need a magic marker, couple pieces of wire, just a touch over an inch long, some wire strippers of some sort. You can use a knife, you can use wire strippers, whatever your favorite wire strippers are, and you'll need a set of crimpers for Anderson power poles. So that's our gear for today. You'll also need a little bit of heat shrink tubing in order to kind of polish things up a little bit. These, you can get heat shrink tubing pretty cheap on Amazon. This is 3/4 inch heat shrink. Another thing I want to show you guys, unfortunately, I've put all these together, but I printed a bunch of these. These are a little Anderson power pole distribution block. If you search around on the internet, you will be able to find the 3D print things for this on Thingiverse, that kind of thing, and put these together for probably $10 to $12 a piece, which is a fairly inexpensive Anderson power pole distribution block. I made probably a half dozen of these so I could loan them out in an emergency and have some extras in my kit. They provide some protection, so you power input here if you use and that. I wish I had one of these to show you guys how to put them together, but it's pretty easy. You just daisy chain the wire from power pole connector to power pole connector. I use some really high temperature 16 gauge wire, so it was easier to cram in there. But anyway, something to consider. You're building your own gear. Maybe you're on a budget. Maybe you're trying to outfit your entire group with stuff. So let's start putting these together so you guys can see that this is pretty simple. We're just going to take a piece of wire and we're going to mark it for how much that we need to strip the insulation back for installing our power pole connector. So we'll just make a little mark there. I'm going to strip this and then we'll put the connector on. Insert it into our power pole connector. And then we'll use the proper die here for this size connector. Just insert him in here. Make sure our wire is pushed all the way in. And I'm going to rotate and make sure my connector is straight. Okay, we have our connector straight. Our wire is all the way in. We'll cycle our crimper. Okay. And now we have an installed pin. Okay, I'm going to do a few more of these real quick. push these in until you get a nice affirmative click, confirming that they are installed. Try to hold this where you guys can hear the click. Yep. Get a nice click. Now we got that installed. Do the other one. Okay. Now we have a power pole connector with a couple little pieces of wire sticking out of the back of it. We're going to strip these the proper length to install our lever lock. Yep. Got our wire stripped here. Insert our lever lock like so. Flip our lever into the down position. And that's all there is to it. Yeah. We'll install the second one. Okay. Got the second one installed. All solid and secure. Take a piece of heat shrink tubing. We don't want to slip our heat shrink tubing up to the point we can't lift these levers up. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and flip them up so we can't accidentally push the heat shrink up too far. Okay. Now I'm going to take my heat gun and I'm going to shrink this. If you need a cheap heat gun, these are like 12 bucks on sale at Harbor Freight. Grab yourself one of those. Getting a little toasty there. Now that we got everything kind of heated up, I'm gonna lay this down. We'll kind of push it flat as the heat shrink shrinks and gets secure and a little stiffer, so we have a nice flat assembly. And that's all there is to it. I'm gonna put together this other one real quick. So as you can see, it's about a 5-minute process to make these. Real simple, real easy. They're great to toss in your kits. If you, you know, just in case you got to make a field expedient repair or need to add a piece of gear in a hurry. All right. While we're doing that, I've got something else on the bench here. I'm going to show you guys real quick. This is kind of the bonus thing that's not really radio related. I'm sure you guys are familiar with these little fuel cans. They are used for backpacking stoves, that kind of thing. Optimus makes them. Probably the most well-known ones are the MSR ones. You can also use these for gasoline. So you can see this one's got 50-to-1 written on it. I am using it for a refill on my chainsaw. So if you need something that's small, you can leave in the truck without having to carry a big smelly gas can around that's enough to fill your saw up one time. It's kind of a quick little cool thing that you can do. And a lot cheaper than buying the True Fuel bottles. You can buy one of these for about the cost of a quart of True Fuel, and then you kind of fill those back up with your own mixed fuel. Hope you guys found this video useful. Remember to like, subscribe, and share, and I'll catch you on the next episode of Grid Down Comms Up at the Bench.